Good day, everyone. So, today we are going to discuss a short story entitled The Lottery, written by Shirley Jackson. So, before we begin, I want you to look at the title. When you hear the word lottery, what usually comes to your mind? So, lottery can mean a winning money, a prize. Lottery would mean luck or somebody who could be a winner. So usually when we hear the word lottery, we think about winning something. But I want you to remember that idea while we discuss the story because the author, Shirley Jackson, gives the word lottery a very different meaning. So as we go through the story, I want you to think about four important ideas. These are tradition, conformity, violence, and social pressure. These four ideas will help us understand the story. So before we talk about the story itself, let's first look at what we are expected to learn. By the end of our discussion, you should be able to identify the important details and events in the lottery, understand some unfamiliar words, and describe the setting, characters, and conflict. More importantly, I want you to simply remember what happened. I want you to understand why these things happened. So let's continue with the other objectives. We will also explain the significance of the lottery and its traditions. So later, we will look at the style, patterns, and motifs. Don't worry if these terms sound difficult. We will understand them using simple examples from the story. And finally, you should be able to support your interpretation using evidence from the text. So while we are discussing, do not just listen to what I say. Look for details from the story that can support your ideas. So before we discuss the story, let's go to know the author. So the writer Shirley Jackson was an American writer who lived from 1916 to 1965. So she was known for writing horror, mystery, and psychological fiction. She often wrote about things such as fear, isolation, family life, social pressure, and conformity. So what's interesting about Jackson is that she could take something that looks ordinary and make it frightening. For example, instead of starting the story in a haunted house, she starts it in a normal village on a beautiful morning. And that is exactly what Jackson does in. Here are some of Shirley Jackson's major works. You don't need to memorize all of these titles. What I want you to remember is that The Lottery, published in 1948, became one of her most famous works. Her writing often explores the darker side of ordinary life, and we will see that clearly in this story. The Lottery was first published in The New Yorker in 1948, and it shocked many readers. So why do you think readers might be shocked by a story called The Lottery? When we hear lottery, we expect a prize or something that is positive. But Jackson turns that expectation on the other way around. It's the opposite of it. She takes an ordinary community event and slowly reveals that it has a violent purpose. So, class, remember this idea. Jackson makes something ordinary feel frightening. Before we continue with the story, let's unlock some vocabulary. The first word is boisterous. Boisterous. It means noisy, energetic, and cheerful. So imagine students excitedly talking and laughing during a school celebration, and that can be described or called as boisterous. Next word is ritual. A ritual is a traditional or repeated ceremony or activity. For example, some families have rituals that they do every Christmas. Next word is tradition. A tradition is a practice passed from one generation to another. And then another is paraphernalia. It means the objects or equipment used for a particular activity. And then we also have the word profusely, which means abundantly or in large amounts. Let's continue with the next set of words. Reprimand means to scold or to criticize. Next is tunelessly means without a clear or pleasant melody. Perfunctory means something done routinely without much interest or enthusiasm. Interminably means seeming to continue for a very long time. And we also have petulantly means in an annoyed or impatient manner. Now let's enter the world of the story. The story takes place on June 27 around 10 o'clock in the morning. So the place is a small village in its town square. And notice the atmosphere. It is sunny, warm, and pleasant. So does this sound like a frightening place? Of course not, right? The setting appears peaceful, ordinary, and pleasant. So there is nothing that immediately tells us that something terrible is about to happen. So it is a peaceful setting that hides a dark purpose. If you were reading this story for the first time and saw children playing and people talking happily, what would you expect to happen? So probably you would tell that there is a celebration, there is a normal community event, something is happy. So Shirley Jackson uses the peaceful setting to hide the disturbing purpose of the story. Let's meet some of the important characters. The first character is Tessie Hutchinson. Tessie Hutchinson is the woman who eventually becomes the victim. At the beginning, she is joking with the villagers. She seems comfortable with the lottery. Another one is Mr. Summers. Mr. Summers is the man who conducts the lottery. He treats the lottery like an ordinary community activity. So does Mr. Summer look like a villain? So that's important. Oh, we have to know who actually is the villain or not. Jackson doesn't give us a typical villain. Instead, ordinary people who participate in the tradition. Here we have two more important characters. Next is Old Man Warner. Old Man Warner is a strong defender of the lottery. He believes the tradition should continue. And then we also have Mrs. Delacroix. Mrs. Delacroix is Tess's friend, but later she also participates in the stoning, meaning they threw stones at Tessie at the end of the story. So what do you notice about Mrs. Delacroix? So she is actually Tess's friend, but she still participates in the violence. That tells us something important about the power of social pressure and conformity. Next, we have Bill Hutchinson. He is Tess's husband. Mr. Grave is another character who helps Mr. Summers conduct the lottery. And then we have the Hutchinson family who will become very important to the plot. Now, let's look at one of the most important symbols in the story, which is the black box. The box is old and worn, but the villagers continue to use it. If the box is already old and damaged, why don't they just simply replace it? The black box represents their tradition, their attachment to the past, their fear of change, and their blind obedience of the tradition. So if the box is already old and damaged, why don't they just replace it? Maybe because they are already used to it. It is already part of their tradition, and then they don't want to change. So the black box represents their tradition and attachment to the past. It also represents fear of change. So class, remember this, the box is old, but the villagers' attachment to the tradition is strong. Now we are getting into the actual plot. Pay close attention because this is where the story begins to build tension. The lottery follows a fixed procedure. First, the villagers gather, and then the box is prepared. Next, the families draw. After that, there is a family drawing, and finally, one person is selected. Think of it as a process. The villagers have done this many times, so they already know exactly what to do. What does this tell us about the lottery? It is actually a tradition. But there is one detail that we should pay attention to. The children are collecting stones. Why do you think Jackson included that detail? So at first, we might think the children are just simply playing, but later we realize that the stones are going to be used for something terrible. This is called foreshadowing. So when we say foreshadowing, it means giving us a clue about something that will happen later. So the collection of stones by the children actually is a part of a foreshadowing in the story. Now, the actual lottery begins. Mr. Summers and Mr. Graves conduct it calmly. So each family head steps forward and draws a paper. So notice something is strange. Everyone is nervous, but almost nobody questions the lottery. So why do you think they continue participating? because again it is a tradition. They follow the procedure because this is what the community has always done. Now we reach an important turning point. Bill Hutchinson draws the mark paper. So Bill Hutchinson is the head of the Hutchinson family. This means that the Hutchinson family has been selected. Did Tessie complain about the lottery before her family was elected? So Tessie immediately protests. She says that the process was not fair. Did Tessie complain about the lottery before her family was elected? She was participating normally until her own family became involved. This is important because Tessie's reaction reveals something about her. She suddenly demands fairness, but before this moment, she accepted the lottery. So, is Tessie against the lottery itself, or is she against being the victim? So, she actually is against being the victim, right? That is why this part of the story is important. It shows that people sometimes question a system only when they personally suffer from it. So the key idea on this part of the story is that Tessie's protest reveals self-interest. Now the Hutchinson family must draw again. This time, the members of the family each draw a paper. So one paper has the mark. And the person who received it is Tessie Hutchinson. So, what do you think happened to Tessie? So, she was selected. She is now the victim, and this part of the story is the climax. Now, notice how quickly everything changes. The villagers begin gathering stones. Remember the children at the beginning? They had already collected stones, right? What seemed like an innocent play at the beginning of the story now has a completely different meaning. Why? Because we now know what the stones are for. So that is another example of foreshadowing. And notice something else. Even people who know Tessie participate. Her neighbors also participate. Her friends also participate. The community acts together. So what's the key idea on this part? Social pressure and tradition become stronger than individual conscience. Now we come to the shocking ending. The peaceful morning that we saw at the beginning of the story ends in violence, the stoning of Tessie. So Tessie is attacked by the villagers. There's no rescue, no one stops the ritual. And that is what makes the ending so disturbing. The same people who were laughing, talking, and enjoying a peaceful morning are now participating in violence. So, why do you think Shirley Jackson made the ending so sudden? So, maybe to shock the readers. She wants us to think or rethink everything we saw at the beginning. Now, let's identify the conflict. The first major conflict is individual versus society. So Tessie is one person. Who is she fighting against? It is the whole village. So she stands against the entire community, but no one supports her. The key idea is that one person struggles against the beliefs and actions of an entire society. Now we have another conflict, fear versus conformity. Conformity means changing your behavior, beliefs, or actions. Some villagers may have doubts or feel uncomfortable, but do they openly resist? No, they did not. Why? Because of social pressure. So they are afraid of going against the group. They are afraid to go against the community. So they remain silent and they just participated with the lottery. So sometimes people do something not because they believe it is right, but because everyone else is doing it. So, what is the central conflict of the story? It is the conflict between individual freedom and blind conformity. It's also the conflict between personal conscience and social tradition. When does following a tradition become dangerous? Maybe when it starts hurting or harming people. It becomes dangerous when people continue it just because it has always been done, or when following the tradition becomes more important than people's safety or lives. So that is one of the biggest questions Shirley Jackson wants us to. Now, let us organize everything that happened using the five parts of the plot. So for the first part, we have the exposition. So we meet the village and learn about the tradition of the village, which is the lottery. And then next, we have the rising action. The families begin drawing papers and the tension increases. For the highest peak of the story, Tessie receives the marked paper, and the falling action, the villagers gather stones, and the ending is that Tessie is stoned by the community. The exposition is the beginning of the story. So we already have learned about that now during our previous lessons. So what do we learn? We learn about the village, the characters, and the annual lottery. So notice that Shirley Jackson makes everything seem safe. Why? In order to make the ending more surprising. So we are actually surprised as to what is going to happen to the main character, which is Tessie Hutchinson. Next is the rising action. So the families begin drawing paper. As the drawing continues, the tension becomes stronger. So why does the tension increase? Because they don't know who will be chosen. So Jackson also gives us clues such as the stones and the villagers' nervous behavior. So these clues are examples of foreshadowing. Now we reach the most intense part of the story. Tessie Hutchinson receives the marked paper, and this is the climax of the story. Why is this part of the story the climax? Because this is the turning point and the most important moment. So this is when we finally understand the true purpose of the lottery. After Tessie is selected, the story moves quickly toward its ending. So what happens? The villagers gather stones. And notice how quickly they do it. That shows us that the ritual has become normal to them. The resolution is the final part of the story. So Tessie is attacked by the villagers and the story ends in that particular part. Does the village feel guilty? The people feel guilty? No, because they treat the killing as an accepted community activity. It is already normal to them during that particular activity, and that is what makes the ending disturbing. Now let's move from what happened to how Shirley Jackson wrote the story. Jackson uses simple, realistic language. She doesn't describe the violence in a dramatic way. Instead, she uses a calm, matter of fact style. So, why do you think this makes the story more disturbing? Because the terrible event sounds normal to the people, and that the ordinary language used by them makes the violence even more shocking. Now, let's talk about patterns. A pattern is something that happens repeatedly. In the lottery, what happens every year? The lottery, right? So the villagers repeat the same procedure. So they gather, they draw the marked paper, and then they follow the rules. The key idea in this part of the story is that because the villagers repeat the lottery every year, the tradition becomes normal to them. Now we have motifs. A motif is an important repeated element that helps develop an idea. In this story, we see several important motifs. The first one is the stones. The stones represent violence and collective responsibility. The black box also represents tradition and resistance to change. So we have seen in the first part of the story that it is one of the most important symbol in the story. Even if it is already worn out, they do not even change it. And then we also have the lottery that represents blind obedience and harmful practices. So which motive do you think is the most powerful. Maybe the most powerful motif is the stones. The stones are part of the ritual that the villagers have followed for generations. They become the villagers' weapons for carrying out the lottery. So the stones are the most powerful motif because they symbolize how an ordinary tradition can become violent when people blindly follow it. They also show that everyone in the community is responsible for Tess's death. Now, let's look at symbolism. A symbol is something that represents a deeper meaning. So, we have the black box. It symbolizes old traditions and attachment to the past. We also have the stones, which represents collective violence. The slips of paper, it represents fate, the random selection of who will suffer. So, these objects are not just objects. They help Shirley Jackson communicate her message about the society. Now, this is very important, the irony. So think about the word lottery. What do we normally expect from a lottery? So we expect someone to win, right? But what happens to the person who is selected in this story? What happened to Tessie Hutchinson? So Hutchinson dies at the end of the story. So that is what we call a situational irony. Another one is what we call verbal irony. Verbal irony is when people use ordinary, pleasant language while discussing a deadly ritual. We also have the so-called dramatic irony. We begin to sense that something is wrong because before we completely understand what the lottery means. So the word lottery itself creates an expectation, and Shirley Jackson completely reverses that expectation. Now let's talk about the themes. The theme of the story is the central idea. So we have blind tradition as a theme in the story. So the villagers continue the lottery because it has always been done. It is a part of their tradition. Conformity is another one. They follow the group instead of questioning the practice. So they do not want change. Individual versus society. So Tessie stands alone against the community. So what happens when everyone follows a tradition without asking whether it is right? That is exactly what Jackson wants us to consider. Now let us summarize the major themes in the story. The first one is blind tradition. So it means something continues simply because it has always been done. The second one is conformity. So people follow the group. They do not want change. They stick to the old uh, they stick to the old actions that they have been. Violence. Ordinary people can participate in violence when society accepts it. Individual versus society. So one person may struggle against a powerful group, so Tessie against the community, and then fear of change. People may resist change simply because they are already comfortable with the old way. Now we come to the most important question of the lesson. When does following tradition become dangerous? So, is tradition always bad? Traditions can be meaningful and valuable, but Shirley Jackson asks us to think about traditions that cause harm. If a tradition hurts people, should we continue it simply because it is good? The story actually teaches us that age does not automatically make a tradition right. So this story does not attack tradition itself. Instead, it asks readers to examine traditions that cause harm or something that needs to be followed without questioning. The lottery may seem like a simple story about a village tradition, but beneath it lies a powerful warning. Shirley Jackson shows us what can happen when people follow traditions without questioning whether they are right or just. So thank you everyone, and I hope that after reading the lottery, you will not only ask what happened to Tessie, but also ask why did everyone allow it to